Hey, GB's here for Less Than a Headbanging Podcast with GB's, and welcome to another YouTube video. And on this episode, I will have my reviews on Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. That's right, they're currently on tour for the Freaks on Parade Tour number 2, and a hell of a show. They stopped right here in the Chicagoland area. Awesome show. I'll give you guys my review. I'll give you the set list from all the bands that played on there, along with them like Ministry and Filter, and so much more, and kind of give you the vibes before, during, and after the show. So since I got your attention, hit the subscribe button right here on the YouTube page so you never miss any uploads in the near future. And by the way, it's a podcast, and Less Than a Headbanging Podcast is available to all major podcasting outlets like Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the major podcasting outlets. Hit the like and hit the subscribe. And follow me on my social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube. All right, let's talk about my review on Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie right now. All right, so let's talk about my review on the Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. By the way, the exact date, September 1st of 2023 at the Credit One Union Amphitheater in Tinley Park, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, Illinois, of course. So, man, hell of a show. I enjoyed it. Every band killed it, each one of them. A total of 4. Filter, Chicago's very own Ministry, Alice Cooper, and Rob Zombie. So 4 bands played on the Freaks of Parade numero 2. If you remember last year's Freaks on the Parade tour, the original one, we had Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Static X, and Powerman 5000. So this year it's different. And it's a collective of a tour, of course, a collective. So let's talk about it. So I arrived at the amphitheater around 6 o'clock-ish. Dealt with traffic as usual, trying to get parking. So I had to work on a Friday, so trying to get from work to home to change my clothes to driving out to the amphitheater, which is like 35 minutes away. Filter has concluded their set. Once I arrived to the parking lot and got out, went through security checks, and got my way into the amphitheater. Get some fresh beverages, grab some merch, which I'll show and tell right here on YouTube. But yeah, man, Filter came on. If you're a big Filter fan or curious about the set list, I will post it right up here. The Drowning, For the Beaten, Operation, Take a Picture, Welcome to the Fold, and Hey Man, Nice Shot, which, you know, it's a radio single. So there's your Filter set list, and from what I heard outside and the concourse, they sounded pretty good. I kind of wish I was around to see them. Okay, let's talk about Ministry. So I did see Chicago's very own Ministry, a hometown show. So they played 9 songs, and they were pretty good. So the first one, Thieves. Second, The Missing. 3, Deity. 4, Stigmata. Number 5, Supernuff, a Black Sabbath cover. Number 6, Burning Inside. 7, come on, NWO, a classic Ministry song. Number 8, Just One Fix. And number 9, Goddamn White Trash. That's a good song. I mean, musically wise, guitar wise, it was a great song. And you know, their stage presence is very visual. They're on screen, have all types of you know, visuals, effects on their screen while they're playing each song. So they put on a hell of a show, and they sounded great. The drums sounded great. Uncle Al Jargerson on vocals sounded phenomenal as always. But you know, the band sounded great. It's my first time seeing Ministry. It was on my bucket list to see them, and I got a chance to see Ministry. They were phenomenal. And would I recommend seeing them? If you haven't seen them, yes, go check out Ministry, as they're on part of the Freaks on Parade Tour of 2023. So let's talk about Alice Cooper. So once the Ministry finished up their set, you know, they swapped out the sweat set. In comes the backdrop. Can't speak. The backdrop, you know, the curtain of the Alice Cooper. And then there we go. Alice Cooper comes on. Show kicks off with Lock Me Up. With the curtain came down, the band comes out. Now comes Alice Cooper. Number 2, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Another classic. Again, I have the video. I will post a link down in the description if you want to watch all the bands featured on my Pro Shot video. And then number 3, I'm 18. Come on. Another classic from the 70s. Number 4, Under My Wheel. Number 5, Billion Dollar Babies. That's one of my favorite songs. Number 6, Hey Stupid. Number 7, Lost in America. Number 8, Snake Bite. And that's where Cooper came out with his snake cobra around his neck. Our constrictor. Number 9, Feed My Frankenstein, where they brought out that giant-ass Frankenstein person walking around on stage. Number 10, talk about a hit song from the 80s, Poison. Number 11, we had a guitar solo from Nita Strauss, which is phenomenal. Number 12, Black Widow Jam. Number 13, Ballad of Dwight Fry. I believe that's where he had the execution of Alice Cooper, where he put his head on a head chop off execution. That was pretty cool. Number 14, Killer. Number 15, I Love the Dead. Number 16, Elected. And then the encore, School's Out. And they featured Pink Floyd. What song they played? Another Brick in the Wall. So, great set from Alice Cooper and the band. The whole band sounded great. I didn't realize Chris Wise was playing on bass for the whole tour. I thought it was Chuck Garrett, but I guess Chris Wise is filling in. Oh man, the whole band was tight. You got Glenn Sobel on drums, Tommy. Who else is on there? Nita, Chris Wise, and of course Alice Cooper. Sounded good. He's in his 70s, and he sounded great. The whole band sounded phenomenal. Go out and see Cooper while you can, man. I'm not sure how many years he'll have left. I hope he keeps on going forever, but I highly suggest you go see Alice Cooper while you can, and check out the tour as a whole. But Alice Cooper, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I do have merch for show and tell on YouTube, right? Alice Cooper shirt. It's pretty badass with the eyes on it. And then here's the back right here, Too Close for Comfort, all the tour dates on it. So I like this shirt, and again, I was on a budget because I had a wrestling event. By the way, follow me on my secondary podcast on YouTube, Into the Square Circle Podcast, if you're a fan of pro wrestling. I went to AEW this past Sunday, so I was on a budget here. And I had a couple Rob Zombie shirts I really like. Hopefully I can catch it maybe down on his website or on eBay. But Alice Cooper has a nice selection of merch, and all the bands do. But they're roughly around $50 if you want to buy a t-shirt. Men's and women's, of course. Again, Alice Cooper, highly, highly recommend go and see. Phenomenal. Okay, let's talk about the headliner to close out the tour here. Rob Zombie himself played 14 songs altogether. So Alice Cooper finishes up. They switch out the set, and we got Rob Zombie up and ready to go. And they have a curtain, and of course, they start the intro of the Triumph of a King Freak. King Freak, bam, 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 bam. And then the curtain comes down, and there is Rob Zombie himself on the zombie platform. Just smoke blowing out all across the stage, and you got Riggs, you have Peggy D, you have what's the drummer? I'm drawing a blank here, but they all sounded great. Great, great, great. They all sounded great. Kick off the show with a bang. And then number 2, Dead City Radio. Great song. I love that song. Number 3, Feel So Numb. And what's great about this song is they played the actual music video from the 2000s when the music video came out for Feel So Numb. And they played the whole damn music video along with them playing. So that was pretty cool. Number 4, well, Everybody Fucking a UFO. That's a good song despite the title name, but it's a great song. It had a giant ass, I don't know what it was, like an alien gorilla UFO walking around on stage with Rob Zombie. Phenomenal. And then they played a handful of songs from the Sinister, was it Hillbilly Deluxe or Sinister Urge? Let me verify here really quick. So Hillbilly Deluxe, yes. They were celebrating Hillbilly Deluxe. I believe it was, 25 years, 30 years, whatever years it was. And they played a chunk of songs off the Hillbilly Deluxe. They played What Lurks on Channel X, Super Beast. My favorite song, Demonoid Phenomenon, which that's a song that got me into being a Rob Zombie fan. I'm happy they played that song. They played Lords of Salem with the movie in the background on stage in the snow. They played House of a Thousand Corpse, Drum Solo, Living Dead Girl, More Human Than Human, Thunder Kiss 65. And then they did an encore, which they came out with Dracula. So, Rob Zombie, phenomenal. So this is a hell of a tour. And again, if you're on the fence on seeing Rob Zombie, Alice Cooper, Ministry, or Filter, I highly suggest you go check it out if they're in your area. So overall, a great, great, great show. So highly recommend it. All right, my friends, that's it. We'll conclude the show. And again, drop it in the comment section of YouTube if you've seen this show in your city across the United States. And let me know what's your favorite band or if you like the whole show. And what merch do you buy? And then follow me on my social media platforms Into the Square Circle. I'm sorry, wrong one. But you can follow me on my wrestling podcast, Into the Square Circle podcast. But this podcast, Less Than a Headbanger Podcast, which is available on all major podcasting outlets like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow me on my social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, or right here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe. And until next time, my friends, horns up and stay heavy.